So welcome to Warrior Wednesday. We're beginning in child's pose. So just go ahead and take your knees wide, big toes together, stretch your arms out long over your head. This first time through, it might feel good to place a fist or a block under your forehead. And we'll just use this posture to come into awareness of our breath. Come into this very first asana. And the word asana means take an easy seat. So maybe that means elbows come to the ground instead of stretching so far. Maybe you feel your belly expanding, shoulders starting to soften. Come into an easy seat in child's pose. And then let's just bring our elbows right underneath our shoulders. And we're just going to touch our fingers to our elbows the way we do when we're in ragdoll. I always remember right here to set my watch for yoga. So fingers touching elbows, and just pause right here for a moment and feel forearms pressing into the ground and shoulders strong. So this is one of the first building blocks of supported headstand, is that we are going to be on our arms more than our head. So just feel yourself kind of pressing your torso up away from the floor, and take a couple breaths here. And then opening the hands, interlace your fingers, turn your palms up so that your pinky fingers are stacked and the backs of your hands are on the floor. And again, press your forearms down into the ground, open up your shoulder blades, and just take a couple of breaths here. We're just going to get our shoulders used to being in this position. And then rise up from here into tabletop. Place your hands on the earth, your knees under your hips, and just start to drop your hips right and left. Let's start to find some outer edge sensation. And as you rock over to one side, you might feel one of your knees lift. It's this swivelly thing in shoulders and hips. And then with the spine long, let's tuck our toes and lift our hips up into downward facing dog. Pedaling the heels, shifting the weight. Inviting breath to come into those places that get tight, especially when it's cold. We tend to kind of hug ourselves tightly, and our muscles get a little more constricted when the weather turns cold. So notice how it feels to have your head below your heart. Downward facing dog is actually an inversion. Let's drop the knees again. We're going to come up to kneeling, sweep the arms up overhead, take a nice deep breath. And as the arms reach overhead, touch your fingers again to your elbows. A little stretch backwards. Take some deep breaths here. Starting to hear the sound of your breath on your inner ears. Maybe finding a very gentle arch through your upper back. And then peel the arms open. Return again to child's pose. Knees wide, elbows down. Interlace your fingers, turn your palms up. And then coming to the crown of the head, we're just going to place the crown of the head on the earth and nestle it right into where those pinky fingers stack. Notice that your elbows didn't get wider. They're still in line with your shoulders. And we're just going to press down. So really press down through the forearms. You'll feel your core engage, and you'll feel the crown of your head lift just a tiny bit. So that is the base. That's our foundation of Salamba Sirsasana, supported headstand. So through this class, every time we come back to work on headstand, you're welcome to stay right here. This is a wonderful place to receive the benefits of inversion, being upside down and getting blood flow to the brain. So remember that. We'll go ahead and release. Let's stretch the arms, come again into downward facing dog, and this time pedal a little more vigorously. I'll tell you what, we are all going to be so smart when we leave this practice. Our brains are going to be flooded with oxygen. Let's walk the feet to the hands and press to shins. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. We'll do that 2 more times, lengthening the hamstrings. Press and lift. Good. Exhale and lower. Press and lift. With knees bent, inhale, arms sweep high, extended mountain reach. Look up at your hands and draw the hands to heart center. Let's do that again. Rise high, look up at your hands and bring your hands to heart. Start to find Ujjayi breath, that whisper sound. Let's reach the arms again, extended mountain, and then grab the elbows here. So like standing ragdoll, right? Try to frame your head. If your arms are a little bit in front of your face, that's okay. But bring your arms back as far as you can. Try to hug the bottom ribs in. And now with your feet pressing into the earth, I'd like you to press your arm bones to the ceiling. Stretch yourself in 2 directions. Good. Interlace your hands and just bring your pinkies to the crown of your head. So it's like I'm putting my hands around that little ponytail or bun, and the elbows come inward. Now, press your elbows, your forearms up, press your feet down, and guess what? You are in an upside down headstand right now. So memorize that feeling. Forearm bones up, feet down, everything in between strong, suspended, and balanced. Release the hands high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press to a half lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Shifting forward into plank pose, engage your core on knees or toes. Lower halfway down, chaturanga. And then inhale to cobra. Or if you'd like, press to your feet, upward facing dog. And exhale back, down dog. Take a few deep breaths right here, friends. Really intentional about pressing the hands into the earth and lifting the hips. We want that energy when we're in inversions. Go ahead and look forward. Feet come to hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms sweep. Grab your elbows. Take a little back bend. And bring your hands to your heart. Awesomeness. Let's do that one more time. Rise high, deep breath. Flow, forward fold. We'll take a vinyasa halfway and then step back. Use your breath to drive you through these 4 poses. Plank, chaturanga, a back bend, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Ujjayi breath. Empty this breath. The feet come to hands. Inhale, lift halfway. And on the exhale, ragdoll. Touch your fingers to your elbows here. Let your body just surrender. A gentle tug with your fingers on your triceps. The head dangles. The hips lift. And then softening the knees, press to half lift, and then rise high. Grab the elbows here, lean back, little back bend. And bring your hands to your heart. Should be feeling a little more warm and toasty, yeah? All right, good. Sweep the arms high and exhale, bow low. Let's keep our right foot where it is. We'll step our left foot back to low lunge. Pause right here for a moment to reach out through the crown of the head and back through the heel. Nice long torso. Let's drop the knee to the ground, point the toes back. We're going to rise up into vertical. So we're straight up and down, shoulders over knees. And I'd like you to bring thumbs to ribs and fingers to the top of your pelvis. So see if you can feel those 4 bony points and how much space there is in between those. So we're going to keep that exactly as it is as we lower the hip and come back up. So in other words, we're doing this as a stretch and lengthening for hip flexor and quads, not a back bend. So we're trying not to increase or decrease the space between ribs and pelvis. And you should feel that a whole lot more in your hip flexor. Good. Okay, so holding forward, now we'll add the back bend. So fingers touching elbows, reach up through your chest, lengthen through your upper back. Moving that sensation upward into the torso. Good. Coming back to neutral, shifting the torso forward. We're going to keep our arms here as we rotate into twist. So a little different variation of the twist. I'm still holding elbows. I've brought my elbow toward opposite knee. Turning to look up over that right shoulder. And back to neutral. Return the hands to the ground. Tuck the back toes and step forward. Come into forward fold, hands on the backs of the heels or calves. Gently pull yourself down. Maybe feel your weight shifting into one foot and then the other. A sigh, a long exhale. And then with fingertips on the earth, let's take our right toes back to low lunge. Length in the body, reaching out through the crown of the head, back through the heel. And then we'll go ahead and lower that knee to the ground, point the toes back. Breathe here. Good. Pressing up on the thigh. Bring your whole torso to neutral, straight up and down, shoulders over knee. Come to your ragdoll arms, fingers touching elbows. Lift and lengthen. And then bring the fingers to the hips, thumbs to the ribs. Find that space. Keep that space as is while you rock your hips forward and back. So inviting the sensation down, quadriceps and hip flexors with breath. So fun to just find a new and different place for attention in the body, right? Let's Come forward, fingers to elbows, add in that upper back bend, lift and lengthen. And then release, fingers to the earth. Whoops, sorry, I forgot the twist. Sorry. Lean forward and rotate to the left. So a little less twist in the lower back, a little more sensation through shoulders and upper back. Different view. It's really what inversions are about. They give us a different perspective on life. We see things from a different angle. Go ahead and come back to center, tucking the back toes, lift and step forward. Come into ragdoll. Maybe this time sway a bit more, left side and right side. Exploring those outer edges. Placing our hands on the mat, stepping back to downward facing dog. Option to stay here or take a vinyasa. Optional from here on out. We are going to be working a lot of upper body, so if you want to pass on some of these vinyasa, you can. We'll meet in child's pose. So let's set up for Salamba Sirsasana. Elbows under shoulders, hands interlaced, palms up, pinky fingers stacked. The crown of the head. So if you were a baby, that's the fontanelle, the little soft spot on the crown of the head right there on the mat, and the hands nestle in. My hands feel like if I were wearing a yarmulke, a little cap on the back of my head, that's where my hands would be. So press into the arms, unweight the head a bit. It doesn't have to come off the ground, just let it be light. And our next step would be, or could be, to tuck our toes and lift our hips. So now we're in headstand preparation. Press down on the forearms again to really feel the strength we're going to ask our upper body to have. And that's all we have to do, is just tuck our toes. Press down, core lifts. And if this is challenging, this is your headstand for a while. This is your practice, and it's a beautiful place to be. Inversion, blood flow to the brain. We'll release. Take the knees wide and extend into child's pose. So now that we've gotten into more of real headstanding, we always want to do child's pose as a counter. Let your belly expand. Let your body rest for a moment. When you feel ready, come up to downward facing dog. Smart brains. All right, on the inhale, let's take the right leg up to the sky. Circle your ankle, wiggle your toes. Bend the knee, open up through the hip, and do that again. Circle your ankle. Pressing into the hands, the knee lifts high. Square the hips and shift forward to step between your thumbs. Let's drop the back heel and rise up. Warrior Wednesday, Warrior One. So beautiful, everybody. As soon as you find your Warrior One, touch your fingers to your elbows. And just gently draw arm bones back. Breathe into all that space you've created in your body. Back foot presses firmly down and outward. It's okay if your hips are not squared to the front of the mat. That's an old school cue. We don't use that anymore. We're a little more concerned with neutral spine. So whatever that means for you. Breathe. Asana, easy seat here in Warrior One. And then keep your arms where they are, but open your hips out into Warrior Two. So it's a wider stance. And now your body's facing the long edge of your mat. Open your arms and turn the palms down into Warrior Two. Shift to look over your right fingers and breathe. Let's turn the right palm, reverse the warrior. Take some time to, again, put space and length in the side of your body. Kind of reach beyond your actual reach. Reach beyond. Tilt the body over into side angle, either resting on the thigh or touching the floor or a block. Top hand can be up or over the ear. What feels best? Where is the easy seat for you here? Let's reverse again, straightening the front leg. And then arms even, turn all 10 toes to the side of your mat. Let's grasp the elbows again here, lift tall, lean back a little. And then really cinch in tight through your core, really like hug in like a tight, tight, tight belt. And we'll hinge from the hips. Come down into a wide-legged ragdoll. Exhale loud, everybody. Release the hands to the floor. Give yourself time to just explore here. Movement or stillness. Place for your hands that feels just right. Head below the heart. Lifting up to a flat back. Let's turn toward the back edge of our mat. Warrior One, rising up. And once you find your foundation, touch fingers to elbows. Lengthen through the spine. Feel your heart pushing forward into your sternum, your shoulders hugging onto your backs. Deep breaths. And then turn your body, but keep your arms. Find Warrior Two, legs. Good, and then slowly float, arms open. Shifting your head to look left. And breathe. Turning the left palm, reverse the warrior. Big, spacious breath into the left side of the body. Reach beyond your reach. Not to the point of strain, just space. Opening, length. Gorgeous. And then exhale, side angle. Option for where both arms are resting on the thigh, touching the floor. Up or over the ear. Where's your easy seat? In side angle pose. Good. Let's reverse the warrior, straightening the left leg. Reach, reach, reach. Come back to parallel, turn the toes, and find the elbows again. So cinch up super firm through the belly, the hinging from the hips. Come over into ragdoll. All right, this time you're going to want your feet wide enough that you can set your arms on the ground. So you might need to come forward a little bit to do that. Elbows down, set up your headstand here. Back up a little bit. So elbows under shoulders, hands interlaced, pinkies stacked. Head is going to drop down and you might find yourself on your toes. So here is another way that we can practice headstand, right? Pushing down on the forearms, unweighting a bit, and then begin, if you like, to heel toe your feet closer. You might find a place to stay. And you're in another version of headstand. Someday you can just float your legs wide and up overhead. That might take some time. Steady, slow breath. Seeing the world from a different perspective. So we're going to press our head off the floor first, then come to hands, lifting halfway. Turn toward the front edge of your mat, step to downward facing dog, and then raise your left leg, circle your ankle. Just completing that whole sequence. Bend the knee, open the hip, and circle. And returning to downward facing dog, option to take a vinyasa if you like. Let's lower our knees to the mat and we'll bring our right foot forward once again. Coming down into a kneeling lunge. Let's find a little bit more hamstring this time, stretching back and forth from hip flexor to hamstring. Hopefully your body is warm, but also know that really the intention of all of these asanas to help us calm the body in order to calm the mind. So are we moving in that direction of a more calm mind? Let's come backwards with a long straight leg. Walk the hands forward. Hips pull back and hold. Breathe. Maybe close your eyes and just really breathe into the sensation you've created here. As if the back of your leg had its own little lungs. Breathe there. Return to kneeling lunge, tucking the back toes. Sweep the right arm up, open into twist. Reach beyond your reach. Lines of energy. And that hand comes down to the floor inside the foot, drop the knee, and we're just going to switch. So shifting the left foot forward, rocking the hips forward and back. Steady, even breath. Here and now, moving toward a calm body, a quiet mind. And the value of that is it gives our soul a place to rest that's not full of tension and stress and noise. It gives our soul a quiet place to rest. So come back into that hamstring stretch. Walk the hands forward, pull your hips back. Close your eyes and breathe here into whatever you feel. And as we come forward to lunge, let's tuck the back toes, sweep the left arm up, open into twist. Reach beyond your reach, create a line of energy. Exaggerating the breath. Nice, everyone. Release that hand to the inside of the foot. Drop the back knee. Press back into child's pose. You might be finding a little more opening in your shoulders now. So back to our setup. Take another step. So elbows under shoulders, hands interlaced, palms up, pinkies stacked. Place the very crown of your head, that baby soft spot, into the mat, and the hands cuddle in to make that little yarmulke, that little cap on the back of your head. Make sure you don't widen your elbows. This is a great place to stay. If you came this far before and you got to headstand prep, go ahead and tuck your toes. Our next step is to walk the toes closer to the torso. And as you do that, you are going to notice more pressure in the head. So that's where you really, really, really want to press down through your forearms. We want to get to a point where our hips are over our shoulders. So you can stay here, or you could lift one leg. And you are so, so, so close to headstand right there. What I'd like you to avoid is kicking. So if you've lifted a leg, you're just going to lift the other leg, and just be patient. I'm giving us lots of time today, so we don't have to kick. We never want to like kick and lodge and force through a position where there's weight on our head. So let's lower our knees and take our counter pose, which is child's. Feel yourself exhale. Here and now. Calm body, quiet mind. A comfy abode for our soul. Let's bring ourselves up to tabletop, tucking the toes, downward facing dog. We're going to get off of our upper body for a bit. We'll do a little balance. So let's take the right leg high, shifting forward, step that foot between the thumbs. We'll walk our fingertips forward so the back leg can lift. Just very, very light in the hands. Let's give that a rest for a bit. Coming into a standing split. So just lowering the head down, lifting the leg high till it feels like you're in some kind of a split. You can stay here or bring one of your hands to the back of your standing leg, maybe both. If you want to try both, lift your head and look forward. Standing splits. Deep breath. A little patience with yourself. It's just a body trying to balance itself. No story. It's just a foot wobbling. Let's release to forward fold. Bend your knees, give yourself a hug. Acknowledge yourself for the effort to just show up and then to stay in the practice, to keep coming back here. Let's switch sides, fingertips to the floor, right leg lifts. Find that stable left foot, and then when you're ready, tilt the head down, lift the leg up, find what feels like a standing split. And if you like, one or two hands on the back of the leg. Everybody breathe. Worst thing that can happen is you'd be like me and you have to put your fingers down. Try looking forward. That helps a lot with balance. And then fingertips down, return to forward fold. Give yourself a hug. Softening the knees, press to halfway, and then really, really slow. We have been upside down a lot, so it's going to be very common to feel lightheaded here. So move slow, have a chair nearby, and bring your hands to your heart. And flat hands over the heart might feel really good right now. Just take your feet a little wider, shift your weight. Just give yourself this gentle little self hug and acknowledgement as the hourglass turns the other way. It's a little soothing, like you're rocking a baby. Just let yourself come back to calm. All right, we are on our way to full Salamba Sirsasana for some of us. And if you've gotten the green light all the way along and you want to try the full pose, we'll do that, but you're also welcome to go to a wall if that gives you a little more comfort here. So take a moment to bring the short end of your mat close to a wall. And while our friends are positioning their mats, we can all take our time to get down into downward facing dog. Take a flow on the way there or just go there. Welcome to take a vinyasa if your arms still have some strength. And we will all meet on our knees. Okay, so no turning back now. Elbows under the shoulders. Interlace your fingers. Palms up, stack your pinkies. Place the crown of your head on the mat and squeeze your little pinky fingers into that crevice. Make sure that you can press on your forearms and lift your head. This is a great place to stay. If you're moving on, tuck your toes, come to headstand prep. Another wonderful place to stay. Next step would be walking your toes closer and option to lift a leg. So for me, this is my entry into handstand. If I just find a split, kind of a little teeter-totter, that feels really safe because I can always put this foot back down. You can stay there, or you can work to slowly, slowly, slowly bring the legs together. Falling usually happens when we get in a big hurry. So take your time, I'll give us time. Eyes are gonna stay on one point. Core is engaged. Press into your forearms. And if you're upside down, flex your feet as if you could stand on the ceiling. And then you can relax your feet. So once you get in the habit of headstanding, it actually becomes a meditative posture. Your body figures out how to be here with more ease, an easy seat. Wherever you are along the path, eyes on one point, press your elbows, breathe. Try to come out of the pose as slowly and mindfully as you came into the pose. We'll meet in child's. And we'll exhale. Be here with yourself with compassion, acknowledgement, awareness. we're just going to lower ourselves down onto our bellies. We're going to do a nice effortless pose. Take the arms out into a T. We've been working the upper body a lot. So you're going to place your left cheek on the ground, bend your right knee, and then just roll onto the left shoulder. The toes come behind you. You can bring your hand in close to your chest, let the left arm extend behind, and just breathe. A calm body, a quiet mind, a place for your soul to rest. Slowly switch sides, turn your right cheek to the floor, bend your left knee and flip that foot behind you. Bring your left hand in close. Close your eyes and feel everything you feel here. Breathe into all those places. And return to center. Let your arms come to your sides. Let's lift up one more time into a back bend, locust pose. Feet come close together. Toes can be down or up. Arms back at your sides, maybe interlaced. I'm going to offer one more option today. Fingers touching elbows, lifting here. Really great way to build upper back strength that will support you the next time you try to do a headstand. And as we release this, let's press ourselves up into cat pose. Come onto your fingertips, open your shoulder blades, tuck your tailbone, release that back. And then let's come to a seat. Take the legs straight out in front, clear the flesh. Let's reach the arms high and let's fold over our legs and just let your hands catch whatever they catch. Maybe it's a strap, ankles, feet, toes. Inviting your body to surrender, to release here, to soften. Gently pressing ourselves back up to tall spine. Let's bend the right knee and take a twist. So you can hold the knee, you can hug the knee, you can slide the elbow outside the knee. Find your favorite way to twist, pulling the right shoulder onto your back and looking behind you. Calm body, quiet mind. Coming back to center, switching legs, hold, hug, or slide the elbow outside, however you like to twist. Left shoulder pulls onto the back, look behind you. Returning ourselves back to center. Let's bring the knees up, take a hold of the back of the knees, roll yourself down onto your back, hug knees into chest, and give yourself a nice little massage here. Maybe happy baby, maybe legs up in the air. We've done lots of that already today. So what does your body need here at the finish line? Give yourself a moment to explore, to be curious. Is there anything else in your body that feels tight or restrictive? It needs a little attention on the way to rest. And when you're ready, bring your feet together, the soles of the feet together, knees open wide. If this causes strain, you can put pillows or blocks under the outside of your legs. Just going to do a little breath here. So one hand to the belly, one hand closer to the heart. And I'd like you to just notice which of the hands moves more with breath. The belly hand or the heart hand, and can you move both with breath? Can you fill up both belly and rib cage with equal volume? Can you give yourself permission to stick your tummy out? To soften that protection around your heart and let the heart expand. Calm body, quiet mind. If this is a comfortable way for you to rest, stay here. If you'd prefer straight legs and straight arms, come into corpse pose, Shavasana. Gather any props that make this more comfortable for you, or coverings. When you find your resting place, take 3 deep breaths that end with a sigh. As you come into rest, I'm going to guide us with the words of our friend Gigi in her poem called "My Soul Sits Quietly." I invite you to breathe softly as you hear these beautiful words. Let them speak to your soul. My soul is free. It's not restricted to limits of the material world, even though I am. My soul is free and fluid. It's not stuck in who I am or who I'm not. My soul sits quietly at peace, feeling room for everything. Step aside, my soul says. Step aside and wait. The peace will come. Just step aside. My soul is urgent in its message and yet so relaxed. It knows what I need. My soul is waiting peacefully for life to unfold, waiting for life to go on, and waiting for life to end. My soul is energy. It never dies. It watches as the centuries go by. My soul is endless to a point, a peaceful point at the center of me. My soul is calm and watches me and tries to get in edgewise. It says, drop in the slot, calm yourself, let it be. My soul feels no jealousy, no judgment, no hate. My soul sees the universe at the very core of me. In that universe, we connect, not slightly, totally. My soul feels that in you. My soul feels that in me. My soul is the safest place and lets me feel no fear, lets me relax and breathe. Not me breathing, though, it's the universe. There is no division. There is no me. My soul is joyful at its very breath, limitless, timeless breath. My soul knows it is everywhere and cannot be dispersed. It knows the petty thoughts I have will disappear if I breathe in. It knows my center is where it lives, alone with everything. Alone in the oneness. We are alone. There is only one. We're it. We're one. I invite you to take another deep, slow breath in through your nose with a loud and long sigh out of your lips. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Stretch your body out long one more time and roll to one side. Gently use a hand to press you back up and find your seat. Let's bring our hands together in front of our hearts in gratitude, aware of a calm body, aware of a quiet mind, aware of a soul sitting here quietly, ready for its next adventure. Thank you for making time today for this soul and upside down work, acknowledging yourself and each other. Namaste. Hi, my friend. Thanks for taking time for yourself today. If you ever want to practice with me live over Zoom, jump over to my website, denisestruce.as.me, grab a class. They're all free or by donation, or just continue enjoying these videos here.